Are we ready?
Are we ready?
1, 2. I just ate, by the way.
I bet he smelled worse. You were reading, and it sounds like you're reading.
Having it memorized is kind of the bare minimum.
I sort of wasn't good enough.
I had a couple of meltdowns.
Can I start again?
Stuff like that can really lose an audience.
I am freaking out right now.
I can't even believe this.
There's a lot of work to be done.
And that speaker is...
My name is Reggie Watts, and my life changed forever when I got the opportunity to speak at TED. Now, TED is searching the globe for ideas that could change everything. 9 TEDx events around the world, giving a global voice to the unknown. 6 minutes that can inspire, motivate, and change their lives forever. But that's not all. Coached by an expert panel, one lucky speaker will be surprised with the opportunity of a lifetime.
It's just so exciting. Wow! Woo!
This is exactly the opportunity to reach out to millions of people.
It's the biggest stage in the world.
It's bigger than any dream.
There were a bunch of people that were reading their scripts.
Small batch lines.
There's a lot of work to be done.
No content notes.
Can I start again?
This cannot.
It blew me away.
I'm really sorry.
It's so big.
This is the TED Idea Search. Athens, the heart of ancient Greece, and a place where philosophy, democracy, and debate shaped how the world thinks. Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle once shared their ideas here. Today, that legacy continues. From across Greece, a select group of speakers have been chosen to take to the TEDx stage.
I am extremely thankful that TED creates this opportunity. For me, it's a little bit incredible that now I am here.
TED is the biggest platform in the world to spread good ideas. The ideas that need rethinking and ideas that need reframing, and that's what I'm trying to do here.
Hello, speakers. Welcome. Hello. It's so good to meet you all. Huge congratulations, because each one of you has an idea that we think is truly worth sharing.
Hi, I'm Fiore. I'm from Athens. I'm a third-generation fashion manufacturer. My vision is the transformation of the fashion industry to act on modern slavery and the destruction to the environment caused by how we make our products, how we consume them, and how we dispose them. Fashion is the second industry in risk of modern slavery and one of the biggest polluters to the environment. I believe that Athens has many stories to share that could act as an example for changing our world.
You've all been chosen as part of this big global idea search. Tomorrow, you'll give your talks. And we are so excited to hear what each one of you have to say. One of you will go on to take the main stage at TED's flagship conference in Vancouver, TED 2026.
Oh, I would cry for sure. Oh, it's gonna make me cry if I think about it.
If I can help one person or 1,000 people or 1,000,000 people, I think that would change the world.
Clearly, I want to go to Vancouver. I think everybody here does. This is exactly the opportunity to reach out to hopefully millions of people. I'm Mel Rosenberg, and I'm a professor of microbiology. The big idea is that we should talk about bad breath because nobody talks about it. Bad breath combines humanity and science, psychology and microbiology. It's quite easy to diagnose and it's quite easy to treat in most instances. Bad breath is kind of a metaphor for humanness, for being a human being, for loving somebody enough to tell them something that might be painful in the short term, but very helpful in the long term.
So tomorrow, we, the TED panel, that's Kelly and Dimitri and myself, will be listening carefully for the strength of your idea, the power of your storytelling, your stage presence, and your delivery. I'm Kelly Stetzel. I'm leading the TED panel. My role at TED for the past 20 years has been curation. So I've worked with thousands of speakers on the TED stage to select them, to help them develop their talks and get them ready to share them with the world. I'm so passionate about this initiative in particular because it brings up ideas that we could not have found any other way. Things that I look for are really the strength of the idea, but you then have to make it land. The delivery is how well they connect with the people in the room.
My name is Kelly Shu. I run TED's YouTube channel, so anything that gets distributed on TED's YouTube goes through me first. I always believe that content is king, and so if it's a great talk and it's great delivery, it will do well, but selfishly, I'm always looking for a really concise way to present it to people. I plan to bring my knowledge of what I think our audience enjoys. You can honestly have an amazing talk in person, but sometimes on the screen, it's not as intriguing as it was in real life. I'm a sucker for an inspiring TED Talk that just makes me feel like there's hope again.
Joining them on the panel are TEDx Athens organizers Dimitris Kokoris and Dimitris Kalavros-Husiou.
As modern Greeks, we think that, okay, what's the impact of our Greek minds now in the world when our ancient relatives had created such a big impact in the world civilization as we know it today?
What we'll be looking is an idea that can really resonate in the global audience, that can bring the Athenian and the Greek identity with it, and a speaker who can really connect with the audience, who can really be there, be present, be genuine, be honest.
There's such great minds out there with such great ideas. Why not give them the space to bring their ideas forward? Right here on this hill where we are standing 2,500 years later is the hill where democracy started, where people like Pericles and Themistocles and Sophocles were talking to the Athenian people back then. Today we're looking for your vision into the future of what you can bring into the conversation. I'm really eager to listen to what you have to say. I wish you all the best for tomorrow.
Stepping on to the TED main stage really is the opportunity of a lifetime. It has hosted some of the world's most influential visionaries, leaders, and architects of the future.
We have a long way to go in front of us.
Sharing their ideas to a room of thousands, entrepreneurs, investors, and changemakers, each waiting to be moved, provoked, and inspired.
This is a moment when we have to rise to this occasion.
But the power of TED doesn't end when the lights go down, because the talk joins a global library of ideas watched by billions. Doors opened, media attention, book deals, and funding and support for their projects. Standing on the TED main stage is more than delivering a talk.
All I want to do is show joy and hope.
Your impact magnified far beyond the moment.
Bonjour. That's what life is about daring greatly, about being in the arena.
It's a journey I've been on myself, so I know how hopeful the speakers will be for that opportunity. The panel worked closely with the speakers, helping them refine their stories, sharpen their message, and find clarity in their ideas.
This is all about support. It is not meant in any way to stress anybody out. We really want this to feel like a space where you're comfortable asking questions. If you mess up, it's no big deal. Timer's right here. It counts down from 6 minutes.
Are we ready?
Are we ready?
Let's do this.
Yay, everybody. Please give it up for Mel.
Let's go.
So, hi, Kelly, and Gelly, and I'm Melly. The rehearsal went well. There's always some things that can be fixed and improved, like bad breath. Bad breath is a big problem. It is. You know, odors, they can attract, they can seduce, but they can also repel. And an intimate odor coming from an intimate part of our body It's not just about whether there is bad breath, but where it's coming from. If it's coming from your mouth, it's probably from the mouth or sometimes the tonsils. If it's coming from the nose and the mouth, this requires medical attention.
I thought it was really, really delightful, and I learned a lot.
Your eye contact and your energy and the flow.
The speakers' talks were great, a lot of ideas. I was almost moved to tears yesterday. So yes, everybody has something that's definitely worth listening to.
Today, our brains are dying before our bodies. Stanley Arthur and Zach Easter were born with healthy brains, but died a slow and tragic death from a degenerative brain disease whilst their bodies were still healthy. I'm Dr. Emma McSweeney. My talk is about the fact that our minds are dying before our bodies today. I look after patients every day who die slowly and tragically with degeneration of their brains when they're often still really fit and healthy. I feel really strongly about all these people who are unable to talk for themselves, and I want to be able to talk on their behalf. I so desperately want to get this information to as wide an audience as possible because it will save some people's lives. Stanley's story is different. His brain was slowly damaged by everyday insults. I'm on the wrong slide.
Rehearsals were a little rough.
There were a bunch of people that were reading their scripts. Those are people that need to memorize their script and memorize it so well that they can be fully present, and that's necessary in order to actually connect with the audience.
On a wooden table in Athens, a jacket lay open, the lining torn. The woman repairing it had one sewn under thread. Tonight, she was teaching a class. When she tied off the last stitch, she wrote her name on the label.
So I was very anxious because unfortunately I wasn't very well prepared. I hadn't learned my speech by heart yet. I know that it's a short time that we have, so I try to find every second to isolate myself and learn the speech by heart.
This is the fashion factory of the future, where science meets technology and the arts, combining craftsmanship, cultural heritage, circular design, and inclusive employment.
When you just delivered it, obviously you were reading and it sounds like you're reading. So do whatever it takes to make your passion shine through, because you are clearly so passionate about this work. I would say almost everybody has quite a lot of homework to do.
First of all, when you're petty, what you do is you don't build a network. Building a network is a reciprocity game. I am Zoe Fragou. I am from Greece, in Athens, and I am an organizational psychologist and a business coach. Tomorrow, I will be talking to the world about pettiness. I've encountered pettiness several times, especially in the workplace, and I think it's about time we try to dive deeper into it. What is pettiness? What makes a person petty? I've seen so many good and talented people contaminating their whole lives with meaningless acts of being passive-aggressive or being revengeful without really understanding what this causes to them, what this causes to societies, and what this causes to systems in general. I'm trying to actually unite people through this idea. They keep encountering more and more pettiness because that's what they bring to the environment. And pettiness, it means to... And it also means seek revenge.
Zoe was someone that got distracted when her slides went wrong, and then she told me she forgot half of her script.
Tomorrow, I think we're gonna have better technical support, I assume.
If you don't rehearse enough with the slides, it's super confusing.
No, I practice. This doesn't work.
I know. That's why I'm saying it's not directed at you.
When you're on the stage, so many things can go wrong. So it's like having it memorized is kind of the bare minimum. So much of it is like knowing your talk good enough that you can just deliver it flawlessly every single time, no matter what the external factors are.
Now, you can obviously see me. I am standing here on stage. I am wearing this pink dress. And soon, you will be able to argue that you can see me more than what you have signed up for this morning. The truth is that we can see only about 0.004% of reality.
I couldn't take my eyes off of you, and I was waiting for what you were gonna say next.
You're gonna make me cry. My name is Vivian. I am a data scientist. My talk is about what we cannot see. We humans, we are very limited in what we can see with our eyes and what we can process with our brain. I was always fascinated by technology, and when I started working with NASA, I could literally see through new eyes. We can use modern technologies, such as this brain scan device that I am going to be wearing, that allows us to see beyond the invisible.
Vivian was so well prepared today, and it really showed. She's got the stage presence, she's got the connection with the room. I think she really wowed all of the speakers, and hopefully she wowed them into, here's what I need to do to get there.
That is my brain activity live streamed real life. And if I start jumping, you can see that my brain is exploding.
I would like to see tomorrow that, everything works fine with all of the things that you want to show.
I can't wait to see it tomorrow with everything happening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The only thing that worries me is the technology. So it is very cool to see my brainwaves live, but that has to work.
There were also a couple of talks that I think it was kind of hard to pinpoint the exact idea.
I didn't understand Zoe's idea immediately. No matter how frustrating it is, no matter how tiring it gets, turn your light back on, because how else are we going to see?
I think at some point, I probably lost actually what the idea is.
What happens is I skipped some parts because I didn't have my presentations. I lost some stuff that I had to say. I received the feedback that I should make my big idea more clear from the very beginning. I thought it was clearer, but obviously they know better. I missed 2 paragraphs. I missed a lot of parts, because this was very messy for me.
I do also agree with these two about just making clear the idea where you're taking us.
I had a couple of meltdowns. I am so stressed. I want to kill it. There have been some existential crises around bringing this TED alive.
Obviously, it's quite nerve-wracking practicing your presentation, but I think it really did help me to hone my talk. But to help us, and today, we are now providing contact sports players with a new medication, HMTM, still in development, which is designed to remove toxic tau protein from their brains.
You really know your stuff. This is the way you are, but when you speak, you probably use like the same, if it was a musician, the same note.
I like to tell speakers to be the most themselves they can possibly be. It's like be yourself with the volume turned up about 5 or 10%.
I found it really interesting to listen to everybody else because everybody has such interesting talks.
There are amazing people, game changers, but it's different narratives of one story, how to make the world a better place.
After all, they say that you shouldn't kiss and tell. But in this instance, perhaps you should. So who are you going to tell today?
I mean, I love this.
It was delightful. Thank you.
I really like Mel, our bad breath scientist. He is so charismatic. Stage presence is not an issue for him. He is going to have no problem connecting with the audience in the room.
In the original pitch, I thought that someone would come up on stage.
Yeah.
And then we talked about it, and I said, oh my goodness, it'll take 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And I won't have anything to talk about. But do you want me to show you right now?
I'm curious.
So count to 20 from your mouth, of course.
1, 2, I just ate, by the way, just so you know.
They always have excuses, right?
I bet he smelled worse.
I was riding a horse and
okay.
God.
1, 2.
Well, I have to do all this in 6 minutes to talk about the problem and what we can do about it in 6 minutes. So I think that's the big challenge.
The 2 I enjoyed the most today were Mel and Vivian's. They had their talks so well rehearsed, and you could really see their personality shine.
A lot of people from today have a lot of homework, and I don't know what's going to happen on the day.
Very curious to see what happens in the next 24 hours, because I think there's a lot of work to be done.
As the sun rises over the Acropolis, the day for TEDx Athens has arrived.
With the red dot waiting and an audience soon to arrive, our speakers have the chance to step onto the stage for the first time.
Experiencing the lights, the space, and the scale of the moment ahead.
The TED red dot fills you with excitement, with joy, with tears of happiness, with respect for oneself.
Last night, after hearing everybody's talk, I realized that I have to get someone on the stage. So this means I didn't sleep too much last night because every time I tried to get to sleep, I did a rewrite in my mind.
My fear is a little bit around technology. This brain scan device has to work because it is a live demonstration, so it has to work out for my talk to land.
My anxiety is that I will lose my words. It happens now as I'm rehearsing. Sometimes my mind stacks and I forget.
Representing Greece in the main TED stage makes me feel like I'm in Eurovision, which for us Greeks is very, very important. My biggest fear for tomorrow is that maybe the message is not gonna land.
I think the biggest challenge is, will I be me tomorrow? Will people see Mel?
With rehearsals behind them and showtime fast approaching, the TED team steps in to help steady the speakers.
Who here gets nervous before they go on stage? Who gets nervous? No, not Mel. We're gonna do a breathing exercise. I'm gonna count 4 in, 8 out.
If I was to represent Greece at TED main stage in Vancouver, I would connect the journey with more communities. We really need volunteers, we need ethical consumers, we need creative game changer makers.
Let's start getting our bodies awake. Starting on our left leg. Tap your skin, all the way down the...
It's terrifying, but it's also the most incredible opportunity that I think anyone can have to get across to as many people as possible.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I would feel very honored because the people here are extraordinary and there are people that actually have made me better and I've learned from them.
A big yawn like you're in a cartoon. Mel, take everybody's breath.
This is something that people who love public speaking dream of. So it's a dream, of course, I won't deny it.
I just want to get it over with. I am very high on adrenaline. I'm ready.
Are we ready? 1, 2, 3.
Final checks complete. The audience are arriving. And backstage, nerves and excitement collide as TEDx Athens is moments away.
Hello, Athens.
I'm so excited to watch these talks.
I am too. Everybody out there is ready. Everybody's warmed up.
They had some work to do from yesterday, so
yeah, they did have a lot of work to do from yesterday. So what's gonna happen? I don't know.
Please help me welcome to the stage with a huge round of applause, Vivian.
She was great in rehearsal yesterday.
Yeah.
Like she knew her talk super well.
Soon, you will be able to tell that you can see me more than what you have signed up for this morning. Because that is my brain, and my brain activity live streamed real life. And my brain right now is busier than expected, but normally if I jump around, it should be exploding, but it is already in explosion mode. It is extremely breezy because I am freaking out right now, giving a TEDx talk to all these people.
Well, that's interesting. So this didn't quite work as she had hoped because it looks the same before she jumps and during. This is a little bit of a demo that didn't quite work out.
Mm-hmm. It turns out that about not this one, my bad.
Stuff like that can really lose an audience.
Yeah.
Can you recognize this stage? It is me yesterday. And on the left-hand side, I am going to demonstrate how I would see myself from the audience versus how Phil, a good friend of mine, would see me. So as a woman, I have a wider perspective. As a man, he has a more zoomed-in vision. As a younger adult, I see brighter colors. As an older adult, he has a more blurred vision. I sometimes get these annoying floaters in the left eye of mine, blocking part of my vision. And he is colorblind, just like 10% of the population, so about 10 of you sitting here. So for him, and for some of you, I am no longer even wearing a pink dress.
When I really boil down what the idea is, it's that we all perceive things differently. And I don't think that is the newest idea.
You cannot really see me, and I cannot really see you. But that is okay as long as we understand that each of us sees reality differently, and so we can understand and improve reality for all of us. Thank you very much.
The audience loved it though. Look at that standing ovation. Yeah. Still going.
I am done. I am so happy.
I mean, she's a great speaker, and that's no question.
I am happy. I think I did my best, or almost my best. I was very nervous for the technology, for this brain scan device to work, but I managed, I think, to catch myself. So I feel good.
I really love the way that she delivers this talk, but it seems like around the idea, it's a combination really of hard science, but also social science. And I guess there's sort of a link there, but for me, it's a little tenuous. Next up, we have Zoe, who is going to talk with us about how to manage people who bring pettiness into your life.
During rehearsals yesterday, it was actually hard for me to get a read on what her talk will be like today, because I think yesterday she was pretty distracted by external factors. So I'm curious to see what this will look like and see if she can really bring out her best version today.
What happens when you focus a little too much on your own boundaries and protecting them, and not nearly enough on the boundaries you are crossing? What happens when you're petty? And being petty, it means you can't let go of anything. You get obsessed, usually over meaningless things, and you seek for revenge, even at the expense of your own goals and your own interests. Pettiness is contagious. Pettiness contaminates people's lives, synergies, everything. And something about petty people now. I'm gonna tell you as a psychologist that most of the times they have no idea they're petty.
Everyone deals with people that are petty, and some people are petty, me, but no. But I'm not totally sold on what exactly the idea is.
When you're petty, it shrinks your network. Building a network is a reciprocity game. It connects you to the wrong people. So the same way smart people attract other smart people, petty people attract more petty people. And it robs you of future opportunities. Because instead of being focused on building allies for your future, you build nothing or you build enemies. But now let's widen the lens a little bit. Let's see what pettiness does to structures. Let's talk about petty corporate cultures. No mentorship, no sharing of information. Usually there is gossip, there is passive aggression, there is low psychological safety, all of which affect the three things we care about in business: productivity, burnout, retention.
Zoe did feel quite strongly about addressing petty people, speaking to them specifically. I think she's come to a place where she's sort of speaking to all of us now.
Let's talk about what pettiness does to societies. In Greece, for example, we have a very petty saying that roughly translates to, "The neighbor's goat should die." That means that if I can have a goat, then my neighbor shouldn't either. If I can grow, if I can succeed, then no one is allowed to. Petty people are not happy. They're not enjoying being petty. And also, people are not born petty. What's important to remember is that pettiness is contagious, but so is generosity. And a candle loses nothing by lighting other candles. All it does is bring more light into the world. So continue being the change you want to see in this world, and trust me when I tell you that most of us are just like the sunflowers. When we have the choice, we turn towards the light. Thank you.
She did a great job today, and I thought I was so surprised to see that.
Woo! They were screaming. They stand up, actually. So I got a standing ovation. Yeah, that was nice. I did everything I could do. Now it's up to everything else, but I think it went exactly as I wanted it to go.
I think it could have worked nicely to go a little deeper into her own story and her own angle. She really struggled with this because I think she had a very strong vision of addressing the petty people in the room.
I wouldn't say it's the most groundbreaking idea.
Next up, we have Dr. Emer.
I love Dr. Emer. My biggest thing from yesterday was if she could connect with the audience, because it is a pretty scientific talk.
Yeah.
But I think the work she's doing is so incredible, so I'm really excited to see her.
Today, far too many of us, our friends and families, face exactly the same fate. Our bodies will outlast our brains and we will die slowly with dementia. Alzheimer's disease, a global pandemic, is the most common cause. But today, in contact sport, CTE is the most feared complication worldwide. Our brain is actually two interdependent entities. Let's call them Brain 1 and Brain 2. And they must work in harmony to create and maintain a healthy mind.
I like what she's telling us here. She's teaching us about new science, but doing it in quite an accessible way too.
Brain 1, the one we're all familiar with, is made up of neurons or nerve cells. It enables us to remember, think, walk and talk. But it's actually much smaller and more vulnerable than we had previously realized. And then there's the newly discovered Brain 2, much larger and built entirely to protect Brain 1 and to keep it healthy. By providing nutrients, clearing toxins, and removing damaged proteins, particularly toxic amyloid and tau. When Brain 2 is healthy, Brain 1 thrives. But when Brain 2 starts to become overwhelmed, Brain 1 starts to die. Now we have two historic breakthroughs, two new medications, Kisunla and Leqembi, proven to slow Alzheimer's disease. And we have biomarkers which can detect abnormal toxic amyloid and tau protein very early when symptoms are mild.
She did such a great job setting up this talk, and making it accessible to people that aren't scientists. Because I feel like if she didn't do that well, like what she just said wouldn't have made any sense to anyone.
But we can all help stop this global tragedy because we can take steps to protect our brain in sport, and we can actively focus on the habits we know decrease risk: diet, exercise, sleep, mental activity, and social contact. Finally, we are on the brink of a whole new future where true longevity is possible, when our brains will not die before our bodies. Thank you.
She's getting a lot of cheers. People loved it.
If I can get this message out, it actually will save lives. And that's why I want to try and get to Vancouver. I don't know, fingers crossed.
I think she is fantastic. I think this is an important topic. In some ways, I feel like I wish she could be giving this talk like a year from now, because we're just right on the cusp of these solutions. And I really, I'm actually dying to hear how some of this plays out.
I also think you can really tell how passionate she is about this in her talk. I think that's something I was lacking yesterday from her, but today it definitely shines through.
She told me she can't wait to get up every day to do this work. That's incredible. Next up, we have Mel, our bad breath scientist.
Mel was definitely my standout speaker from yesterday. He knew his talk so well and he really connected with everyone. Let's see how he does today.
Hi. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking
Oh no, his mic is...
You're thinking about the echo here. Can I start again?
There's an echo. There is an echo. Yeah, that's got to have thrown him. I hope he's recovers all right.
Look at it this way. I spent most of my early career studying things that people really didn't care about, such as respiratory control in Micrococcus lysodecticus. Groundbreaking research that was cited less than 5 times in 50 years. 40, I'm aging myself.
I feel like he might be a little thrown off. Somehow he's not quite delivering it with the same authenticity that he had yesterday.
Bad breath is bad in every language, in every culture. It's an ancient human condition. Mundgeruch, schlechte Adem, mauvais haleine, kakosmia. That's the best. And if you don't believe me now, you will in a minute. Do the wrist lick test, take out your tongues. I can see you. And wrist your lick. Lick your wrist. If you don't want to do it, you can do it at spiti. That's not where most of the odor is coming from. Most of the odor is coming from way back in your tongue, where there's billions of bacteria in a mucus layer. Stinky, sticky. And you have to get back. This is a good time to join me on stage. You can stand right over here.
I'm interested to see how this works now because it was tricky yesterday.
I'm going to show you the best solution to bad breath. You go in very deep and gently clean this layer. This is where most kakosmia comes from. Most bad breath comes from here.
It's a little tough because, why is she standing there? We're not using her right now.
But it's not only about how or whether the breath smells, but where it's coming from. You see, now I'm going to demonstrate. You're sure you don't have any bad breath, so I'm safe. Okay, breathe out through your mouth. And from your nose now. Okay, round of applause. Thank you.
I didn't super understand the need for her as the volunteer.
I know.
Or to come on.
I thought he was going to handle that a little differently.
If the odor is coming just from your mouth, that means it's coming from your tongue, your teeth, your gums, your tonsils. If it's coming from your nose and mouth together, and it's not smoke and garlic, it could be one of hundreds of medical ailments, and you need a physician. It's that important. So, what do? If there's somebody in your family, somebody near and dear to you that you love, you tell that person, you have to, because it's so important. They say we shouldn't kiss and tell. But in this case, I think we should. So, ladies and gentlemen, who are you going to tell? Thank you very much.
He did go over by a minute and 15. I feel like his talk has preachier vibes today than educational.
At the end, the talk didn't have the same impact.
I don't know if that was from nerves or the mishap in the beginning.
It's such a shame because he was so perfect in rehearsal yesterday.
People didn't stand up or stand on their head. That was a big disappointment. They didn't wave their spoons at me, but I think that I got most of it the way I wanted to.
Next up, we have Fiore. She was completely reading from the script. I mean, she had not memorized a word yet.
I'm really curious to see how this one is going to go.
What if the factory of the future is ethical, regenerative, and beautiful for our cities, for our eyes, for our souls? Fashion is the second industry in risk of modern slavery. 40 million people live as modern slaves today. 1 out of 4 is a child. Only 1% gets rescued, and 80% get re-trafficked because of their financial vulnerability.
I can't even believe this. She knows this back and forth.
Oh my gosh, so much could happen in 24 hours, I guess.
And that is not all. What's in my clothes? Our clothes are the #1 source of primary microplastics in the oceans. And this is because 60% of our textiles are made of polyester, a byproduct of oil, and that is rising. 40% of what we buy, we never wear. Every minute, a truck filled with textiles and clothing ends in landfill. So my idea is simple. Relocalize how we make. Turn our cities into circular hubs and tangled networks of recyclers, designers, microfactories, citizens, and policy. Create new textiles from residual and biomass waste, digital tools to remanufacture, repair, trace. AI is the loom, community is the weaver. In these hubs, we stop and break the linear model of make, use, dispose, and change it to make, use, remake.
She's doing a really good job of laying out the problem and the possibility and the solutions.
Picture a living campus on an old historic factory in your city. Enter an open area for makers' nights and community showcases. Through the glass, you see the R&D manufacturing center, small batch lines, robotics, 3D knitting. A sneaker is designed in the morning and knitted for running by the afternoon.
Also, her factory sounds really fun. It sounds like an incredible place to work.
It's actually such a cool model to follow.
Yeah.
We've been working on this in Greece the last 12 years. We created a social fashion factory, SOFA. If we did it in Greece, we can do it everywhere. All of us, makers again. Thank you.
Yes, she did it. Yay, Fiore. Look at that, standing ovation. I'm so happy for Fiore.
Night and day. I think it went well. I think I connected with people and I focused on getting my message out right.
The content was there yesterday, and we did give her a few tweaks there as well, but today she delivered the talk so beautifully. I love seeing this.
Me too.
That's the goal, going to Vancouver, sharing with millions. I hope that people could connect and change something on the way they behave.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny how every time we have rehearsals, I think I know exactly who I want to win, and I'm wrong every single time. It always gets flipped after the show.
Yesterday, I don't think she was even really a contender for me, and now it's completely flipped. Like, I just love this talk, and we have a lot to think about.
I know, she's up there for me right now, definitely.
And with that, the event draws to a close, leaving the audience to reflect on the ideas and wisdom that has been shared.
All the talks were amazing, different content, different ideas. So overall, it was like 10 out of 10 experience. Each and every one of the speakers, they gave something, but Zoe was something like different, something very unique. Her talk really inspires people from a different perspective.
Fiore touched upon a very sensitive thing. Fashion nowadays is really a big part of society. We just buy more clothes and more clothes and more clothes, and most people don't understand how these clothes are made.
It really helps get a different perspective of how we can reuse things. It's a life skill, actually. It's not only about fashion, if you think about it.
I would say about Vivian, it's about how we see the world and how we perceive reality.
The interaction that she brought and all the technology, so it was phenomenal.
All the speakers had something incredible to say. They gave us a new perspective of what they said, and they really touched us about each subject differently.
But now, it's the panel's turn to make the difficult decision. Which of our speakers will be heading to the TED main stage?
Okay, guys, wow. Today was so interesting because yesterday I think we saw a lot of speakers who were not ready to go at all, and I was pretty worried.
I honestly for sure thought someone was going to go up today and not be able to deliver at all.
Now we have a tough decision to make, so let's do it. Mel.
I went in today thinking Mel was my winner, like 100% sure.
He came up so natural in the rehearsals, and today just something happened.
He struggled to connect with the audience today, and I'm really sad about it.
With all that said, I mean, his talk is amazing. Emer.
In terms of content, in terms of data, she was there. She met the expectations.
In talking with her too, it sounds like there's about to be a lot of new information out that's really hopeful and really promising. I guess my question is, was this talk too early? Zoe. Zoe connected well with the room.
She was a princess today. I kind of didn't feel it's a groundbreaking idea. It was a very fun talk.
I guess the question is it new enough? Is it big enough? Is it interesting enough for the Vancouver main stage? Fiore.
My gosh, our underdog today,
most improved.
Yesterday, she didn't have anything memorized, shaking while holding her script, and today, the most confident speaker.
Ancient Greece is where everything started. And here's, a talk and an idea about something that has started in Greece and why not, explode in the rest of the world.
Vivian, she did a beautiful job in the room. I think she connected really well. She really knew her talk, and I think that allowed her to be herself as she was delivering.
I kind of felt today that the example with the technology didn't quite really put the dramatic effect that she wanted on her message and her idea.
Okay, I think we've landed on a decision. Let's go tell them.
Let's go. Good.
Speakers, huge, huge, huge congratulations. Each one of you just did something really huge. You just gave a talk on the TEDx Athens stage, y'all. Congratulations.
After rehearsal, I was a little bit worried. There was a lot of feedback given and a lot of prep to be done, but today, every single one of you showed up, delivered, and made this decision really, really hard.
We wish that each one of you could come with us to Vancouver, but we have to choose just one of you. And that speaker is
I feel very blessed. I feel wonderful. When I heard my name, I felt happy, and then I felt a little bit bad because I don't want anybody to feel disappointed.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, everyone. I hope I don't disappoint anyone.
I'm so excited for Fiore, so proud to bring her to Vancouver. Can I give you a hug?
Yes, please.
We don't talk as much about manufacturing at TED. The idea applies globally, and it can make global impact to all industries.
You'll do a great job representing all of us.
Thank you very much. No, all of you.
She really delivered today. Like, when we saw her yesterday at rehearsal, and it was hard to know what today was gonna look like, but she blew us all away. Like, it was a different person up there today.
I think you could tell that she's genuinely passionate about her mission. She's going to be the first female Greek speaker on the TED stage. Oh, we couldn't be happier.
You know, in a good way, heartbroken by your generosity for bringing your best self out here. And that's what can make the world a better place for everyone.
I'm very blessed that I can represent our movement. That's a global movement in Vancouver. I was optimistic, but I always am.
On 3, 2, 1, ideas change everything!
We end our time here in Athens with Fiore, having earned her place on the TED main stage. But who else will be joining her? The TED Idea Search continues. Next time, we head to Lagos.
I predict things are about to get crazy.
I'm sorry. It's intense and overwhelming.
He pulled it out of the bag.
That red dot.
Oh, look at that! Come on!